You tuned in to the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Follow me on Twitter, Mr. Freeze at theiceman.com. Excuse me, Mr. Freeze at the Iceman Show. And you can follow me on Instagram, the Iceman Show. Just put that in and I should pop up. So follow me on Twitter and and Instagram. Also, if you want any information on the Iceman Show, anything going on with the Iceman Show, or to get my new book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman Volume 1, go to asktheiceman.com. I'd like to thank one of my listeners for donating to my nonprofit and nominating a topic for me to do. I was asked why I do music as a career, well, part-time. I'm not what you call a full-time musician because I'm not out there performing just yet, nor am I out there. I haven't gone to the studio yet to record any of my new music. But to answer your question as to how I got into music, what motivates me about music, and why do I find music important? Well, music was introduced to me by my parents, more so my mom than my dad. My dad was just along for the ride. My mom wanted a career in music, and for whatever reason, that dream was never realized. So what my mom did is she put me and my siblings in me and my siblings in music lessons. I expanded my training once I got in middle school and high school, and then at some level in college. And music is for me, I can't speak for other people, but music is not just something I listen to. As a listener, I can't just listen to people's music just to be listening. There has to be a reason why I'm listening to a certain kind of music, and there's usually a reason why I listen to it. And I'll cover that first. And I'll get into me being a musician in a minute. I listen to whatever music fits my mood at the time. So if I'm in a mood, like for example, if I'm in a mood where I feel militant, then I probably will listen to some I'll probably put on some NWA, or I'll put on some Public Enemy, or I might put on some KRS-One. If I'm in an old school, if I'm in a really good mood where I'm feeling light on my feet, then I might listen to some old school R&B and old school funk from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and some from the 90s. So it really depends on what kind of mood I'm in. If I'm in a crappy mood, then I'll probably, if I'm in a crappy mood because something happened, or maybe I'm just, maybe I got a phone call earlier in the day that was messed up, and I really wasn't feeling the conversation, then I might not listen to music at all. Usually, what I listen to on a daily basis, since I have Sirius XM, is Urban View Talk Radio with my man Joe Madison, the Black Eagle. Then I listen to Godfrey, and I'm really not feeling some of them other fools on there. Karen Hunter is one of these coons that one day she's talking black empowerment, the next day she's sounding like a straight up coon and Negro bedwench. They had what's his name? John Tapper. I don't know if you guys used to look at Spike TV, Bar Rescue. That's one of my favorite shows. I've been watching Bar Rescue for probably about 3 or 4 years now. And I didn't even know it existed. And this is one of my favorite shows. And I'm listening to Karen Hunter, and man, Karen Hunter had John Taffer on there, man, and she was just, oh man, that whole expression that black women with flat behinds can't be trusted. That is so true, because I can tell you right now that Karen Hunter has a flat behind. And I know that to be true. Black women who have flat behinds are very untrustworthy people. I'm not going to get into why. But she was giving she was sitting up here giving John Tapper all kind of play. John Tapper is married. He's married to a very young or younger Caucasian woman who happens to be fairly attractive. I'd give her a 6.5, close to a 7. He's got a decent looking wife. He's in his 50s. And one thing I noticed about and she was just giving him all kind of play and throwing him, and he was just ignoring her. And I'm always concerned. I mean, I'm not concerned, but it always raises an eyebrow when I see or hear a black woman trying to throw play at a Caucasian male who's not even interested. Because he was on her show talking about businesses and stuff like that. She's on there trying to throw him play. And I know the difference between on-air banter and somebody trying to throw somebody some booty. I know the difference. Anyway, I listen to more talk radio than I listen to anything because I want to hear what folks got to say about the issues that we face on a daily basis. So I'm the kind of person I want to hear what these people have to say because that discourse that discourse I'm involved in that discourse as well. I want to I'm I have a dog in that fight, especially as it relates to black folks. But there are days when I do listen to music. I mean, I listen to some music on Sirius XM, but I don't listen to a whole lot of it. I don't listen to a whole lot of it. I really don't. Some of the old school R&B stations I listen to sometimes, but man, for the most part, I'm pretty set in my ways. If I find a couple stations I listen to, I stick with them, and that's it. Like I listen to the NFL channel because they're talking about the draft and free agency, and I have an interest in that to a certain degree. So I listen to that, and I'll probably be listening more so once the football season starts later on this year. But right now, I just tune in every now and then or whatever. Anyway, but for the most part, I usually listen to music when I'm either in a bad mood. I mean, not a bad mood, but maybe a conscious mood, or when I'm in a real good mood. But on average, I listen to talk radio. Because if I listen to something I don't want to listen to, and I force myself to listen to it, like if I'm playing a CD the day before and I left it in my CD changer and I get in my car the next day and I get ready to, fire my engine up and I hear this CD that's in there, 9 times out of 10, I don't want to hear what I was listening to yesterday. Sometimes I do. But for the most part, I don't want to hear it because I'm not in the same mood that I was in the day before. Sometimes there are days when I don't drive at all. So, that's going to be a day that obviously 2 days later, I'm be in another type of mood. So I'm definitely not going to want to listen to something I was listening to two days ago. But music is very inspirational to me, but it's also something that gets me to thinking. And then if I'm in a songwriting mood, then sometimes I listen to my own stuff. I listen to rough drafts of stuff that I'm working on. Or I listen to some of my old music, especially if there's something that I want to hear that's relevant to what I'm working on right now. But as far as being a musician, music for me is not just about playing music, it's about expressing myself. You have some people who consider themselves to be musicians and they play music or they sing or they do whatever. And they do it just to pass the time away. Or as, it's creative expression. But for a very small group of us, music is our life. It's what gets us through. There's certain songs that I listen to when I'm really if I'm really feeling down, I don't want to hear there's very little music I want to hear. But there's some songs that I want to hear if I'm really turned inside out. And some of these songs are fast songs. They may be fast songs. They may be slow songs. Most of the time they're mid-tempo and fast songs. I don't. When I'm down, I don't like listening to slow songs because to me, that's kind of putting me in the wrong frame of mind. If you know what I mean. I really don't want to. That's just not a smart thing to do. Not saying that I'm in any kind of danger, but it's just that if I'm in a down mood, I want something that's either going to pick me up or something that's going to, help soothe me till I go to sleep. There's certain frames of mind I don't want to have before I go to bed because I don't want to wake up thinking about something in the morning, especially if it's something that's not positive. I don't want to be thinking about it. But as far as me being a musician, I don't listen to a lot of my old stuff unless there's something I'm trying to take, like some type of way I did the drums, or I sang, or I rapped, or people that I produced on my label back in the day. I go back and listen to some of their old stuff and say, okay, this is something I want to do or not do. Okay. But music to me is very important. Not just because I'm a black man, but because through history, through history, I have, sometimes there are songs that there are songs that we listen to and we may say, well, that was a great song. That got me through a very rough period of my life. That got me through a very rough period in my life. So and I'm one of those kind of people that music to a certain degree is the soundtrack to my life. And music is much more to me than just playing it or listening to it. Like I said again, you have some people that listen to music and they play music, and there's no deeper frame of mind that should be attached to that. They're just a musician that wants to play music, or play somebody else's music, or play their own music, or sing their own music, or sing someone else's music. But for me, it's a lot deeper than that. It's a lot deeper than that. And I've always had that relationship with music where it meant more to me than something I just played, sang, rapped, or just listened to. Because for me, sometimes there's historical reference. Like I might say, well, when this song was out, this happened. I remember when this song was out back in the day, this was happening in my life. Or that happened that day or that night when I was listening to this song. That kind of stuff. So yeah, in some regard, there's an emotional and a psychological connection. But again, I'm probably one of the few people that looks at music that way. Most people don't look at music like that. But there are a lot of people, especially my age and older, where music is very important. Now, with some of these young folk these days, not so much. But for older cats, my age and older, oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's a historical significance and an emotional connection with that music of, say, especially going back in history, especially going back to childhood, going back to young adulthood. But it could be all the way up until present day. I think that just depends on the person. For me, Not so much today, because a lot of the music that comes out today, if we're talking about new music, a lot of the music today that comes out is like, is fit for nothing other than the toilet or the trash can. Okay, so, and that's all genres, not just, some people want to, paint a certain picture or say, oh, it's rap. No, there's a lot of garbage. There's a lot of garbage rock music out here too. Matter of fact, 99% of it's garbage, because it's either biting somebody else's music from, back in the 80s, or they're biting Motown. They're copying something from Motown. Okay, from Holland Dozier Holland. Okay, they're biting some of the music they wrote, instead of trying to come up with their own stuff. You could definitely say that when it comes to pop, whatever that is. But music is very important to me. It is the soundtrack to life. It is the soundtrack to the black existence in America, as well as all over the world. And a lot of people have the same reference that I have. And I'm not just talking about just black people, but people all over the world. Okay, especially if the music is good, because most of the music from about I'd say from about 220, probably about 2004, 2005, 2006. Most of the music from going back all the way back to the 70s were pretty decent. Okay, it's pretty decent. Music didn't really get just super garbage until maybe like the last 6, 7, 8 years. But that's how I'm getting down with the whole music thing. Go to AskTheIceman.com for news and information on the Iceman Show, the Iceman Broadcast, my weekly podcast. If you want to subscribe to my show, go to AskTheIceman.com. Scroll down and you'll find the links to and they'll tell you how to subscribe to my show. If you need psychotherapy, life coaching, go to AskTheIceman.com and go to About the Iceman page. Also, business. If you need a business plan for your business, or you're looking to start a business, hire me as your business consultant. Also, I'm working on my second book, The Dating Bible. Hopefully, I'll have that done in the next few months. You tune in to the Iceman Show. I'm your host, the Iceman. Holler at your boy.